Hey guys, what is up? We're back with another week of Sentenced to Be a Hero. And I am scared. What do you mean the Demon Lord can transform to look like a human with semi-intelligence? That's a problem. Because now he's just blend. I mean, he looks freaky, but you see some freaky looking humans every now and again. Let's be real. So, humans are not going to really be like, they're gonna say he looks weird, but nothing to you know alert them in the sense that technically the demon lord is walking amongst you. On top of that, he's working with an adventurer for reasons unknown. I don't know if he manipulated her and has her working for him, or they found an agreement with each other and so they decide to join hands till they reach that agreement. I can't say. But the fact that Terrorita says, and that means I feel like possibly in the future we're going to see more like Sparagon. And that's going to be a problem for the heroes and all civilians, because it's just like, if he's the first type, who's to say the next one ain't going to be a little bit more sophisticated? That's going to be a problem. On top of that, Xylo is engaged. He has a fiance. But then what happens to Kiva? This man got a lot more problems on his plate than we actually realized. So, on top of being a hero, then he got a fiance from another culture. He's getting closer to Kiva. Before they used to cut throats, but now they're actually working with each other. And then obviously the demon lord and everything, but now it's walking amongst humans. So I would hate to live in his world. I really would. But nonetheless, we'll see how this continues in this week's episode of Sentenced to Be a Hero, episode 8. And I forgot there was a dragon. Dang. Pretty much. I mean, why y'all getting angry? He's actually speaking sense. Mm, no wonder. I'm like, they look very similar. Mm. Yeah, because they need to know how did she ended up working with the demon lord, like what happened. Like, did you guys do something for her to leave your guild? My boy knocked out drunk. Oh yeah, he can't say nothing. Damn. I would advise against that. Oh, little girl, what you gonna do with that dagger? Ain't gonna do nothing. She was part of the military. So, yo, why y'all talking? Hey yo, why y'all still chatting? This can't be good for him. Oh, so at least he respects Dota? Oh. Girl, you know you like girly thing. Come. Yeah, that's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So she's weak to flat. Okay, noted. Mm-hmm. Over 1,000 criminal. What? Look how y'all treating the poor dragon. He used you. That was a lie to get you caught. Mmm. So, you know what this is telling me? They want to plant in somebody else to be the crown prince. That's why they're trying to take out the little one. Oh my god. That's why he came running to Dota. Okay. So somebody's actively trying to murder the crown prince. He found him, and now he's being falsely charged. Mm. Oh, so she realized the temple is corrupt as well. Why she asking about the people? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. She wanted to do that this whole time. Yeah. Now you gotta go fight a whole bunch of children. Is that nah? What? No. Made it look at like, girl, what are you doing? Girl, because you're a horrible actor. Who are you? Oh, heck no. She's like, stay away from my man. Girl, why you talking about your fiance like that? You can't stay away from my man. Who are you to come? Who is you? Oh no, they gonna bless you. Oh no. Y'all gonna blast. Oh no. Bruh. Not I oh god. The fact that they had to use child soldiers, but oh, you know what? That's better than having to take out a child. You gonna blow him up? Look at that maniac smile he got going on. Um, yeah, why he laughing like that? Now it's understandable why Xylo was grinning the way he was and why they said on this mission Terrorita is not going to be here, because obviously they're going to mark some humans. And the whole point of this is to gain information from the Adventurers Guild, because it's kind of acting kind of corrupt given the fact that what's her name again? Sigil or something of that sort was first and foremost part of the army, and then she became an adventurer. But it still leads to, okay, there's something that's happening within that guild, and the fact that they're illegally getting orphans to work within this guild, act as assassins, and there's something that's happening within the midst of that guild and the person who's in the head of it, and they need to get all that information, because by gaining all that information they can get closer to Sigil, or if that's not her name, I can't remember her name, and as well as getting close to the information of how did she buck up into Spirit Gun. What I did not expect in this episode was seeing a flashback on Dota's character, you know, because technically he was here from the first episode. He was the first hero outside of Xylo that we saw. So the fact that we got his backstory, like, yes, he is a thief. Understandable. He was going to be judged for stealing a lot. But the fact that, like, the biggest crime that they deemed him a hero was trying to rescue, technically, the crown prince of the empire. Now, I know I said it plenty of times, but like, the empire, the government, is still corrupt. And if you've read multiple historical fantasy like series, a lot of these times when it comes to these type of empires with, you know, kings and queens, emperors, empress, and all that stuff, they have their crown princes, crown princesses, and usually the crown prince is the next one in line to take over the throne. Something is telling me, as reading many of these type of stories, and currently I am reading another one, more than likely his daddy married someone else. It could be two reasons. His daddy married someone else. Now he has a stepmother ended up having a kid with the king, and so she wants her child to be the one on the throne, and so they're trying to take out the original crown prince, aka the oldest son. Or it could be the dad is corrupt and he don't want his kid. Another could be someone in the family, like uncle, aunt, or something, wants their child to be seated, because it's not only the child of the king or queen, it can be anyone who's next in line in the family lineage, aka uncles or so, and they want their kid, or they themselves want to be in line. So those can be, obviously it's a small subplot, but I can see, you know, that happening. It would not be surprising if they decide to talk about that in the series. And in return of that, to get a dragon, Dota did something heroic. He sacrificed his own arm to get the approval of the dragon, to form a bond with it in order to rescue this child. But like, the plan was thwarted, and you know, he got sentenced, and who knows what happened to the crown prince, if he's still there or he's on some probation or something of that sort. A small child that's trying to survive and everything. And as you can clearly see, the judges, they know something's going on, and as clearly as we saw with oh man, I forgot his name real quick, but given the fact that he was branded a hero because he knows what's going on in their country. He knows what's happening behind the scenes. And so to keep his mouth shut, they branded him and made it known that, like, if you speak anything of what's really going on behind the scenes, of the truth, pop goes your head. And he wanted to tell Xylo of what was going on, who's behind the guild, and all these things, and he has to constantly keep his mouth shut because he's forced to. He has no other choice. The funniest part about this episode, which you can clearly see is going on, but what you call it? Kivia and Frenzy. I think they're trying to make like a romance subplot where Kivia is starting to have feelings for Xylo, but obviously Frenzy is still legally his fiance, and I don't know if she likes him romantically, or because it is her duty to be with him regardless of his current status, so she's trying to uphold that. And so she's telling Kivia, know your place. Kivia's like, what? These two are gonna butt heads, because they're both strong-headed, but also like one is more cutthroat than the other. One is extremely blunt. So seeing that in this episode, I was like, yeah, that's going to happen. And poor Xylo's caught in the crossfires between these two women. If you are a novel reader, I do want to know like the development of Xylo between these two women, how that goes in the novel. That's the only spoiler that I really want. Everything else, no. I don't want the spoilers of anything else. Just tell me of that relationship. How does it develop between them? Because obviously we see from the first episode and up until now, Kivia has started to warm up to me. And it's not because only romance. It's the fact that like these two are actually starting to be cordial with each other. And the more that they work with each other, they see that like, you know, you're not that bad to be around. You know, that's why I like seeing developing with those two characters, and then they brought in the fiance plot. I did not see that a mile away. I honestly didn't. I thought this man was a single man. I didn't know. I didn't know. Again, I don't even read the novel, but even then, I wouldn't even know. So it sucks that, you know, they're using child soldiers, child assassins, because it would cause an adult to question their morality of, should I take out this kid in order to get to my target? But, you know, luckily they didn't take him out. They just knock him out. Now we're going to face the adults, and I'm going to be giddy about it just to get to that guy who's part of the guild. Hopefully with next week, I hope Territa doesn't find out, but something tells me she is, and she's going to look at Xylo a certain way, simply because he is going to massacre a few humans, simply because they're here to take him out, and if he doesn't protect himself, so be it. You know, it's easier to fight a monster. It's not easy to fight a human, and I feel like Territa is going to end up finding out, and it may cause a rift between her and Xylo, and it probably might make Xylo have to reason with her, and for her to understand the moralities of humans, given the fact that she's a goddess. But nonetheless, phenomenal episode. I don't know what's going to happen next episode. There's no death flags, hopefully. But I do hope that since we are getting close to the end of the season, we do see that final 7th hero and what he can do. Something tells me he's going to be in that final fight against Sparagon. I feel like that's what they're building up to by the end of the season, to fight Sparagon, and I feel like he's going to be in that battle. So if you guys already read the novel version of episode 8 of Sentenced to be a Hero, do tell me how you felt about this episode versus those chapters. It was adapted from the novel, nothing further, anime only. What do you think is going to happen in next week's episode, as well as how do you feel overall about this week's episode? The links are in the description box, so you guys go check it out. And I'm Kimmy-chan, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!